What is up, everybody? With some recent announcements from ADCC and the CJI, looks like day 2 of the CJI and day 1 of ADCC is going to be a super fight head-to-head. And it's got people wondering, is this even really a competition anymore at this point? Is one side just completely outweighing the other as far as competition goes and star-studded lineup? Let's talk about it.
I know some people want the real competitiveness of everything, but we just want to be able to go out there and kick the shit out of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, right?
So ADCC just recently announced they will be having a super fight, not just on the second day of ADCC, which they generally do, with the winner of the absolute division from 2 years prior against the retaining open weight champion, which was Yuri Simões versus Gordon Ryan. They have now added a second super fight on day 1 of ADCC, which is the second day of the CJI, mind you. Has a lot of people wondering, are they adding this just to try and go head-to-head with the CJI? They have just announced that they will be doing Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena, number 4. Some people, kind of like myself, not all excited about it. We saw, obviously the first 2 times that Pena beat Gordon, he was younger, didn't have a lot of experience under his belt, smaller, a lot of reasons why. Pena was probably just better at the time, obviously. But in their last match, you saw that it wasn't very competitive. And I'm pretty sure most people think it's gonna be the same way this time. Gordon's probably going to run through Pena again. So kind of a weird announcement, I guess. I get why they're doing it. They're trying to go head-to-head with CJI and stop them because CJI has just completely steamrolled them in taking their competitors. The CJI has taken so many competitors from ADCC and has just announced just a who's list of competitors, whether it be for the under 80, the over 80, or just for plain out super fights. Speaking of which, they just announced today that they pulled Mikey Musumeci. Somehow, I'm assuming they had to wait for contractual obligations with one championship to announce this, because Mike even recently said he couldn't do the CJI because of his contract with one championship. But turns out they figured something out, because Mikey Musumeci was announced today. He does not have an opponent yet. This will be a super fight. He's not in the tournament itself, the under 80 or the over 80, which I doubt he would do, but this is just a super fight. And as soon as we find out who the opponent is, I'll throw a post up or something, maybe on my Instagram, maybe on the YouTube, who knows. This was just another big name drop, especially right after CJI announced that they got the Ruotolo brothers to quit ADCC and come over to the CJI as well. Which brings me back to my point. Is this even a competition at this point? The CJI has taken just a list of names from ADCC alone. It's just crazy to think how many of the competitors that won't be at ADCC this time. Got Fionn Davies, Nicky Rod, Nicky Ryan, the Ruotolos, Mike Musumeci. Granted, he wasn't in ADCC, but still, it's a big name on your list. Gabby Garcia went over there. Craig Jones, obviously, doing the super fight with Gabby. Mackenzie Dern, they took from the ADCC. Mason Fowler, Owen Livesley. They got Pat Downey. And they got Andy Varela. Adam Bradley, who got that kind of weird invite after some other guys dropped out, which he said he kind of felt dirty about at ADCC, taking that invite, and then immediately switched over to the CJI. Tommy Langaker, Levi Jones-Leary, Max Jimenez, Philippe Andrew, Eogan O'Flanagan, Hanato Canuto, Victor Hugo. You got Roberto Jimenez. You got Joseph Chen. You got the Tackett brothers. Like I said, just a who's who of names, Not just names joining the CJI, but it's the fact that you have so many names that are dropping out of ADCC. These are exciting fighters. These are exciting matches. Exciting competitors. That's where it has a lot of people wondering, is this even a competition anymore? Some of the guys that have joined ADCC after getting last minute invites because other guys dropped out. Some people scratching their heads at them, and you're going, so I really want to go spend my time and my money and energy over at T-Mobile Arena. watching some of these guys who I don't even really know, or, not everybody's a hardcore fan. I like to think that maybe the majority of people that had ADCC tickets are, hardcore fans and know some of these guys, and not everyone does. You got to be honest with yourself when it comes to the grappling world. It's very hard to build up your brand in jiu-jitsu, and I feel like there's only a handful of guys left in ADCC who have that big brand, who have that name power, the star power. So obviously Gordon Ryan being the biggest one, and I take it seems like they're really putting a lot of their eggs in that Gordon Ryan basket by giving him another super fight on the first day. And, you got guys like Mika Galvao. I know from word is that this isn't, I don't know for sure, but the word is that they paid him a hefty sum of money to stay over at ADCC and not go over to CJI. So, take that as you will. That's just hearsay from certain people in the jiu-jitsu community. Who do you think is going to be Mikey's new opponent for the CJI? Who's his super fight? Personally, I, for one, hope that it's somebody he has beef with, so we can get another unhinged rant from Mikey Musumeci coming up. What do you think heading into this? Which super fight are you planning on watching? Which one is the better option for you? Gordon Ryan versus Felipe Pena, or Gabby Garcia versus Craig Jones? They're going to go head-to-head, it seems like, on day 2 of the CJI and day 1 of ADCC. Let me know, which one do you plan on watching if they end up going at the same time? I, for one, will have to watch the Gabby and Craig match because I'm sure it's going to be hilarious. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about all of this. Is this really competition at this point? Are you planning on watching just the CJI? Is ADCC lost some of its luster? Some of the excitement that it had built up, 2 years ago, it had just a massive amount of excitement. The names that were in it, ready to go down, just brought a huge vibe of energy to the event. And this time around, me personally, it's just not there. I'm still going to go watch day 2 of ADCC. Don't get me wrong, I have tickets already. But for me personally, it doesn't have the same amount of vibe and energy that it did 2 years prior, and even the 2 years prior to that. For me personally, CJI seems to have just a list of killers, though. Who's who in this event. It's just amazing. You're going to have some exciting matches. The pit itself seems like a really fun event to me. Who knows? It could be a huge flop. They haven't announced tickets. Tickets are on sale, but they haven't announced how they're doing with that either. They haven't said that if they're close to being sold out. So, who knows? This could be a huge flop and, waste of everyone's time and money. But I really doubt that, considering how things seem to be going right now at this point. But let me know what you think in the comments. What are you most excited for? Which super fight do you want to see? Which athletes are you the most excited to watch? How do you think some of these matches are going to break down? Some of these super fights, how do you think they're going to break down? Make sure you guys go down, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know how it is. I have to say it at this point. Helps me out a lot. I really do appreciate it. But aside from that, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I'm excited for these events, man. We got a lot of time until we got more names to be dropped for these events. So, I'll try and, keep up to date as much as I can. And as long as people keep watching the videos, I guess I'll keep making them. So aside from that, stay salty, my friends.